Hello, good morning, good afternoon for everyone live, and as well, a warm welcome for all of you watching on demand for the first time, or if someone watches a replay to learn again, that's even greater. Today we have a nice crowd out there, so already 5 joining, and I think this was the record for registered partners in Zoom. So we have 10 registered for this session, which is obviously great. So yeah, I've yet to conclude if it is because of the topic, competitor analysis, or is it that our invitation process has improved and you find time to watch it live. But whatever it is, extremely happy to see you guys on board. So the topic of the day is market insight and competitor analysis. But before we go into that, I want to go through the partner portal. I know that some have had difficulties in getting access to the portal. If so, please let me know, or Torgrim, we will help you get there. So these invites to this session came through email as well, but in the partner portal, which can be found from support.blueye.no, which is also a great place to find information. Just typing in the search, there's so much information that can be shared for customers in our support page, but the Blueye Partner section can be found over here, Blueye Partner. And clicking to that, you'll get into the site. Of course, there's a lot of onboarding material, our guidelines, the marketing material, logos, photos, videos, flyers, brochures, so on, so on. Sales material coming up soon. As well as quotes. I talked with Matilde last week that we will have a template to make better quotes for customers, or for our partners, to make them for our partners. And in terms of onboarding, just a reminder that this is the place where all the videos go after the recording. So all our so far, or my recordings, are found in this partner portal. So you can go there anytime and watch the recording. And also a friendly reminder to give me feedback on the previous ones, and of course give me ideas for the next topics. So this topic was requested by one of you guys, so happy to touch upon that. But next year's webinar onboarding schedule is still open. So let me know what you want me to help you guys with, so I can prepare and do it all together. And as always, please use the chat to ask questions while we go. And the question and answer place is a good place for questions as well. They do not necessarily need to be regarding today's topic. So if they are about something else, anything about our customers or our units or the partner program, just shoot them there, and I'll do my best to respond at the end of the session. Let's get to it. It's a bit cold in my studio, so if I'm shaking, that's the reason for that. So it's we're getting winter soon. There's no snow yet, but hopefully soon we will get that too. But it's quite cold. All right. Okay. So competitors, and I think this is a super important topic, and I have to ask for understanding right away that there is a lot of competitors out in the market. Not all do I have personal experience with, and not all do I have done analysis on. I'll do my best today, and of course there are some partners who are, for example, reselling the Deep Tracker units as well, and there are partners who are reselling the Blueye as well. So I also want to respect those. So and by no means am I ever really smashing the competitors for our customers, rather focusing on Blueye's strengths. But to be able to focus on strengths, you need to know what you are against. And I can say that for October, I probably lost more deals personally than ever to competition, at least that I'm aware of losing to competition. So not a massive amount, but there was several cases where Deep Tracker won or Blueye won. And the Chinese models were also beating Blueye. I think it is because I had less chance in these areas to demonstrate our unit, to really put it side to side because of not having a partner in that region or not being able to travel to that region. And then, of course, one aspect in these losses for myself was pricing as well. And that's sometimes either you're talking to the wrong customer if they are super price sensitive and they choose something that's costs a quarter of what the Blueye cost, then it might have been the wrong customer to start out with, or then I have done a poor job on explaining the differences and the core values of Blueye. And in the end of the day, you can't win all cases. So that's normal. But I saw a spike on other options chose in October, in November than before. But as a general feedback, we had a quite good month in Blueye in November. So we got some growth from October and some growth from September as well, if you count out the large deal that we had in September for a university here. But like the normal sales growth was small, steady growth for the past month. So that's a good signal in a very tough market for us. Getting to it, and today I've chosen two products, two competitors to go through in depth from where I sit. And please share your feedback, share your comments. If you heard something from your customers, there's a good chance to ask what I would respond. For example, if a customer would ask me to compare, and then there's of course others that I don't have maybe so much in-depth data, or maybe I can touch upon them on the next webinars, but also being aware of time. So today will be primarily about Deep Tracker, and now I'm laughing. Is Blueye robotics. So that's auto grammar has been there, so it's definitely Blue Robotics will be the second topic. But first, Deep Tracker, which in addition to video array, is primarily probably the strongest player in the market, who's been there the longest. So Deep Tracker is celebrating their 10th year in the market. Blueye was founded 5 years ago. We've been in the market for 2 years, so they have a bit of a history advantage compared to us, and of course stronger customer base. This information that I've gathered over here is directly from their website, saying that intelligent advanced capabilities make the portable commercial grade ROV best in its class. So that's best in its class is something we use, of course, as well. And when I talk about it, I refer to Inchcape Shipping Services, David Pratt, quoting this after trying 6 units that are in this class category. I have to say that Deep Tracker is the most common competitor that I see, but it is also the most common unit that I hear bad feedback from users. it is very common for me to hear that I'll consider anything except deep checker. I do not see so hard negative feedback from any other ROV out in the market. So it's very seldom that someone trashes Video Ray or Blue Rav or Seadrone, but it is very common to hear that we will never buy a deep checker. This has been said by Inchcape. This has been said by Akzo Nobel, one of the biggest marine coating companies, that they will never consider the unit itself. For me, I've tried it. It's a solid product. It seems like it's built to last. Operating it, from my view, a bit challenging. I'd say the learning curve is steeper, so it takes more practice to get to it compared to putting a Blueye in the water and you're right away having an intuitive touch to it. I'll go through that in the next slide more in depth. For the DTG3, the max depth is lower than Blueye. It's to 200 meters. The battery life is significantly higher. It's 8 hours. I'm not actually sure. Are you able to travel with the unit in airplane, for example? I would argue probably not due to the extended battery time. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The speed is a bit lower than we have, for example, in the Blueye. I wouldn't say it's significantly lower. It's still in the same category, but it's more of how the unit moves, which makes it very different than how the Blueye moves. Some advantages on the tech sheet is, of course, it is upgradable. It usually comes with accessories such as a gripper arm or laser scanners and other equipment, which makes it more, let's say, adjustable and upgradable for separate cases. So if a gripper is required, it's usually a deep checker or a Blue Rav that's chosen for the job specifically, as we don't have one. But I'll jump in. I have a ball shaped, let's say if this represents the deep checker, and what I'm trying to say when it's hard to maneuver, the deep checker moves. Maybe I should have something as a color. So you can go looking up. Let's say if this is the camera, you're facing up and you're going forward. But if you want to go down with the deep checker, you turn the camera to face down and then you dive down looking down, or you go up, you switch and you move ahead. And it is a very different type of movement than with the Blueye, and it's might be difficult to explain to someone who hasn't used it themselves. For myself, I feel a bit shaky with it. I feel seasick when I have controlled it myself. It looks super neat in a tank, and it looks super neat in a swimming pool. I have yet to see long videos of the deep checker in use. That does not say it doesn't exist, but that's the direction where, when I'm faced with a customer thinking of a deep checker or a Blueye, if I don't have the chance to tell them to try both units, I try to explain the movement and the intuitive controlling to my best. And then I use these hard statements that I've heard from customers or established companies in the market saying that they will not ever buy a unit like this. And there was actually a comment in an ROV forum last week in Facebook, where a British distributor, they have worked with Chasing, Deep Checker, and Trident. So 3 established players, and their comment was that 2 out of 3 of these vendors, they will never buy, nor will they ever sell. However, due to restrictions on their contracts, they cannot say which 2 are so bad. But I can say that Chasing, the Chinese vendor, is not one of these 2 that they would not use. So that didn't really leave a lot to explain. But this is what I see, this is what I hear, but at the same time, I do have positive feedback. I know that the partner we have who sells Deep Checker does have a lot of happy customers. I do know that there is a partner candidate in the US that I was talking with for a long time. They chose to go with Deep Checker due to a very lucrative contract they got, so that they got all the equipment for free, basically, and they are very happy using it. So it is also subjective on how it is, but use the stories, use your experience, put it side to side if you can. But here, if I look at a little more in-depth analysis that my team has put together, so it is not purely subjective. So some strengths for what I can see from Deep Checker is that they are established. They have partners in 28 countries. At least this is the data I have. They have sold a lot of units during the past years. They perform a lot of events. So I've heard that they did 44 events in 2019, probably not the same amount in 2020, but that's a massive amount of events as for example, Blueye probably attended 10 or more, 10 or so, and half of them were in Norway. Deep Checker does have other products as well. They have crawlers, and they have a larger ROV, which would be in the middle of these small portable ROVs that we're talking about today, and the large industrial ROVs. So they have the Revolution ROV, which I've only heard positive things about, but it also comes with a pretty steep price tag. Their business is already profitable. We know that. But their biggest market definitely is the US. So 70% of the revenue of Deep Checker comes from North America, leaving around 15-20% to Europe. And calculating that with the numbers of units that we are aware of actually puts that there are more Blueye underwater drones sold in Europe than there are Deep Checkers. And this is obviously a question for us if we want to grow. Why we have just a few percent of our sales is in the US. So that's a market we really hope to cover a lot more during the upcoming years. Deep Checker also uses very aggressive wording in their marketing, in their sales. I can definitely see it's a North American company. I do have a lot of respect for positive and front-running wording, but I can definitely see that in the market. They do have an FCC and CE certification for their units. However, I would really like to see, or let's say I have reason to question the origin and the process around the CE certification. It is a rumor out there that it is purchased through Hong Kong rather than an established certified certifier, so to say. So when this is in place, for example, with governmental companies in Europe, we do showcase our documentation for the CE certification, and without saying it directly, tell the company to the customer to look for the proper documents from other vendors as well. So not just relying that it's there. I may be wrong, but this is something that has popped up anonymously for us. Established network, definitely. I think Blueye is getting there. We have already around 20 countries with representation, but they're all, you are all very new, so it will take some time to be established, but also Blueye is new in the market, but that's something we are definitely catching up on. And I'm very happy where we are today. And Deep Checkers, of course, has strong home ground in Canada, as do we in Blueye have a strong home ground in Norway. For the product itself, I'd say battery life, the guest port, the camera resolution, they have 4K resolution. I would not say that their camera quality is any better than ours, if at all. But on the tech sheet, they can show 4K, as we can only show full HD. The field of view for the DTG3 is 270 degrees, as it can really pan up and down. That's if you look at it from the positive perspective, it's a larger field of view. For me, I would question the maneuverability and the usability on that, how easy it is to maneuver. But the problem here is that easy to maneuver is not a quantifiable quality, as in 270 degrees is more than 150 degrees. So you can check mark more on that compared to easy to use, which Blueye says and Deep Checker says. And how do you quantify that? And that is something where a good salesperson needs to do his best to explain and use references and use stories to emphasize the maneuverability. Deep Checker has a waterproof controller, a waterproof surface unit, and they are industrial controllers where the control system includes the screen itself. And I know that it is heavily marketed with the waterproof aspect, and definitely as Blueye does not have a waterproof controller, it is clear that I would suspect that our controller is bashed when put side by side. To avoid this, I am quite upfront saying that we use gaming controllers, which I believe fit the hand more nicely. They are cheaper. So if you lose a gaming controller, you can buy one from Amazon or any electronic shop very easily. You can have 2-3 as a backup easily with very low cost, compared to a Deep Checker controller, which I don't even know if you can buy a second unit. So if anything happens to that controller, I believe you have to ship one to Canada to get it fixed. Another disadvantage of having the screen inside the camera is inside the controller, compared to our system where we have a separate controller and a mobile device or an iPad, is that the updates in the software are very different. So we are able to live stream very easily using the screen recording function. We update our software on a monthly basis. I'm not definite how often Deep Checker updates their software systems, but I have not seen such significant software launches as we have provided in Blueye. For example, our Buddy app, which will be very soon rebranded as the Observer app, which means that you can have multiple spectators physically there. That's a significant launch for all our existing users because of our mobile platform. The reporting function that we launched a few months back, the ability to automatically create reports of your underwater findings, that's something that we are able to do because we use a mobile platform compared to more of an old school control system together with the screen. So it's a different approach on that. Definitely, I'd say the quality of mobile devices, the screen quality with Retina screens for mobile devices is a higher feature compared to the screens that I've seen from Deep Checker. But it definitely, the controller itself and the unit itself looks more industrial, looks more rugged, and that's another thing that I can see in Deep Checker's marketing and Deep Checker's sales, and it compares towards us. But when we talk about durability, we don't have any leaks out of 700 units out there, and we want to emphasize the support part as well if something were to happen. Weaknesses for Deep Checker, I would say the user friendliness is questionable. That's based on my experience. That's based on discussions I've had specifically in the shipping industry. But there are, of course, hundreds of happy customers out there. So it is subjective in my opinion. As I mentioned about the controller, it's a standard, it's a non-standard controller in a way that if you lose it, you break it. You can only buy it from Deep Tracker. There's less upgrades. The placing of the tether creates more drag. That's something that I've heard from customers as well, that after they have tried DTG3 and found the unit to be very far off, several hundreds meters, hundreds of feet distance away, the tether creates more drag due to the placing of it compared to, for example, Blueye. So often I've been challenged to, okay, can you dive 200 meters away from us like you would in a vessel inspection, and let's see the drag of the long tether, not depth necessarily, but distance. And there I've been told by customers that we perform a lot better. I also believe that the tether of Deep Checker is built on fiber optics, which is stiffer but easily break it. This is not 100% information for me, but we use double wired copper, which is more durable. So when fiber optics breaks, it breaks, then it's done. So as in double wired copper, it lasts longer and it kind of degrades. So you'll start to see signals of weaker performance, but it won't break at once. I do strongly talk about the online connectivity, like live streaming, mobile platform like the Buddy app or reporting function as strengths of Blueye compared to Deep Checker. If you have any questions, feedback, just shoot in the chat. I'll move ahead to Bluerov next. And please remember that I am doing my best to analyze something that I'm not, of course, working with on a daily basis, and these are very much our internal documents that I am sharing, and it is not a fact. This is my opinions only. For Blue Robotics, I think this is the #1 unit we get mixed up with. Like you could see in my agenda that my wording already put out Blueye. So very often we get proposals for the BlueRov 2 coming to our lead inbox. It's a bit easy to mix. Blue Robotics is a company from the US. It is very much an affordable solution. It is very much an based on a modularity, so you can and do-it-yourself approach. So you can build upon the basis they have built. So in Norway, we have a company representing Blue Robotics called JM, and they build on the platform. So they have kind of created their own ROV based on the Blue Robotics BlueRov 2 platform. It is by far in commercial diving what I see the most common solution, because it is very intriguing for engineers, as they can build their own equipment, they can tune their own equipment, they can add accessories like sonars, positioning systems, so on and so on. They can adjust the lighting, they can play around with the solution a lot more than compared to Seadrone, Deep Checker, or us, which are definitely more off-the-shelf type of solutions compared to Blue Robotics. I think when BlueRov is chosen, it is chosen due to the fact that it is very customizable, it is very tailored, and it is significantly cheaper as a standalone solution than the shelf products. They have quite a strong forum and a quite strong and let's say user base where people discuss these topics. Sometimes when there's the time, it's nice to read those forums, and that's a place where you can pick up things as well. So one thing that I refer to often is one of the most requested features in this forum is a leak detection system. So I have not heard of a single Blueye customer asking for a leak detection system because there are no leaks. So that tells one word out from the market. Common feedback that I hear from customers who move from BlueRov to more off-the-shelf solution like Blueye is the fact that they get tired with having the BlueRov under maintenance. So it requires a lot of work to get it fixed, to get it ready to dive. I see constant issues being prepared. But of course, I do hear a lot of positive feedback coming from these users as well. And it does not always fly when I talk about the maintenance or the ease of maintenance for Blueye. So it's definitely not all customers who have issues, but the ones who do have issues, they move towards the more off-the-shelf solutions like Blueye can offer. It has a bit of a longer battery life, but it is also one of those companies or products where when you change the battery, you do need to do a pressure test for the unit. So that's how the unit is built itself. If you think about the Blueye, changing the battery is super easy. It's just on and off. But with the BlueRov, you have to use a pressure pump to test it when you change the battery. The strengths for it, definitely they have guest port so that they can add equipment to it. And that's why the most divers are very happy to use it so that they can customize it. And there are a lot of compatible accessories for the BlueRov. And of course, this will change for Blueye very soon as well. It has a strong history. It has a strong customer base. It has a community around it. So that is very good for them when they grow because they get a lot of organic growth. So their company is not at all built like Blueye or Deep Checker, where there's a strong sales team pushing out to the market. They are able to pull customers, and they work primarily through distributors, and these distributors build solutions. So it's a very technical approach to the commercial phase of the market. They definitely do not have a CE marking in their systems. And this is a direct quote from the CEO of the company that we have met, that they are not even seeking CE certification because this certification is extremely costly and challenging to achieve properly. And one who has done the process knows how challenging it is. And specifically saying in Europe, it is not legal to sell units that are not CE marked. But still hundreds of units are sold every day, even without the CE marking. But let's say small customers do not care, and the buyers usually don't care. In some cases, we do talk higher up in organizations and point out the fact and the legal aspects of having a CE marked product out there. And what that implies, for example, for insurances, if something were to happen and you had a non-CE marked product in your fish pen, what would that do to your insurances? That's a good question that should be more hot in terms of when the customers make their decisions. And of course, for researchers, universities, municipalities, governmental, public companies, these are very strong reasons to choose off-the-shelf certified solutions like Blueye. Like I mentioned, we hear that is exposed to leakages from the user group. The user friendliness can be seen questionable. To be more specific about this, the BlueRov is operated by a laptop. So you need to have a laptop or a Microsoft Surface hybrid laptop tablet to control it. And while you can yourself think about being out at sea or being out by the dock, a pier, and having a laptop solution and a controller with you, how user-friendly is that? If that's all what you have ever done, that may be status quo for you. But all of you have tried the Blueye and how easy it is to connect to the controller and drop the unit in the water and start inspecting. There's a significant difference in that. One thing to consider that when I've seen companies come or customers come with one box for the ROV, one box for the tether, one box for the laptop, it's 3 suitcases when they come to the inspection with a car, compared to myself when I traveled, one hand with the unit, the tether in the backpack, and then the mobile phone in my pocket, and I can easily go from place A to B. So there's a difference in what kind of equipment you use. I would say that modern iPhones, for example, are a lot more stable than PCs equipped with Windows. So how often do you get the blue screen with your mobile phone? Not that often. So that's a significant difference in what I qualify as user friendliness. There's no separate apps or streamlined software updates for that. It's more of a community-based system. It is good to go through the Blue Robotics webpage and look at, for example, how to set up the control system in their PC. It is far more challenging than downloading an app and connecting to the unit and starting to dive. So I would heavily question the 2 minutes and start diving approach. The depth rating is lower compared to the Blueye Pro, and the support is here. We've seen that there's not necessarily support from the manufacturer. So the companies who represent BlueRov are the ones who act as local support, as in our model that we have. All of you as partners can be, we see you as the front line, the customer service type, retaining the customer relationship. But if there's technical aspects, we are able to offer the engineers who built the unit to support the end customer really quickly. So there's a different level of support and a different approach to support they see. Here I have the others category, but please, I would love to hear feedback or questions, or all of you just challenge what I say here as well. If you disagree, I'd like to hear that as well. You can disagree with me privately as well, and we can continue this privately as well if you don't want to openly disagree with my topics. But it's also good for myself to hear different perspectives, because then I can also change my pitch and change my approach. But I still want to remind that in general, I act very politically correct in the market. I try to do my best with emphasizing the strengths of our unit out there. There's a few topics where I am strong. The CE certification with public customers, that is a very strong, look at this document, I can provide this to you I would recommend you to look at, does the other manufacturers provide this kind of documentation that is needed for you? I don't point out any customers, any competitors specifically. Of course, when put at spot, when the customers tell me that they're comparing from A to B to Blueye, then I'll do my best to share my experiences. So last week there was a customer looking at Seadrone, which is here on the right, and Blueye and Deep Checker. They said that the Seadrone I have not tried myself. It was surprising that they had actual field experience from it, the customer, and they were not happy with the camera quality and lighting for mooring inspections. We did a live stream demo, remote demo with the Blueye, and they were really convinced that the camera quality of ours was significantly better than the Seadrone that they have tried. This was a bit of a surprise for me because I've always kind of felt Seadrone having a good camera as well. In the end of the day, unfortunately, they went with Deep Checker because of the gripper that was available right now, that they could pick up things immediately. Hopefully going to get another chance in a few months with this customer. But yes, that brings me to Seadrone, American company. Also quite a similar approach than we have at Blueye, but they are a lot smaller in terms of personnel. I think they're based on the West Coast. They do manufacturing in Mexico. They recently launched Seadrone Pro, which was supposed to be launched 12 months ago. It was launched 1 month ago. And I was very much following the launch because it was supposed to be a bit before our Blueye Pro. It was significantly postponed. The model you see here is the Inspector 3, which I have seen videos and pictures of, but their the Seadrone Pro, I have not seen in the market yet, nor have I heard customers having experience with it. This questions, is it in the market actually, or is it a website launch? The website looks super promising. They are focusing on vessel inspections and doing this kind of 1 hour inspection with reporting, with live streaming, and with accessories like sonars, positioning systems integrated. There's a lot of great stuff out there. My question is Seadrone in the market in the website, or are they actually there? So they quite often post in LinkedIn, for example, images of computer vision where they're in a pool recognizing scratches on a plate, which we could achieve as well. But to achieve that in real life conditions with a vessel with bad visibility, there's a long way from test lab to actual vessel inspection. So I'm very eager to see Seadrone in the market. I'm trying to get feedback from customers that I know that are working with them. But so far, I am suspecting manufacturing issues to deliver to the market. But this is only from what I can see from social media and count 1+1. But quite promising company, I have to say. On the left, we have VideoRay, which is I believe it's a British company, if I don't remember wrong. It has been there for a long time. It's quite costly. I think it's in the range of 40,000-50,000 US dollars, if I'm not wrong. They are very strong in the defense and military market, also quite strong in with commercial divers. I don't see that us compared to them that frequently. They work with also the laptop and controller basis, so not with a mobile environment, which makes them, let's say, more old school and less flexible in that terms. But the unit itself is seems good to maneuver, seems durable, but I have only tried it once in a test lab, so a bit weak on that from my experience. Then in the middle, we have the Chinese vendors that I'd love to get more experience with. So up, we have the Chasing Dory, and then the M2 is on the top on the right. That's their newest model, and I forgot the one in the middle, the name of it, but they are all from $500 to a few $1,000. Definitely making a difference in the market. Strong push from their sales team to customers worldwide because of the very cheap pricing. That also goes with cost of material. Support is very Asian, very Chinese, what I've heard. I don't have experience myself on operating these units. The M2, I can see from social media getting good experiences from. I've yet to see strong references from industries like fish farmers or vessel inspections or offshore to really highlight how they are used in the professional market. In the bottom is the Blueye Fifish W6, which looks like a monster already with a gripper and a sonar and so on and so on. This is a model that came out some months ago at blueye.com. You can find. Haven't seen in the market, haven't heard feedback from customers. I've seen the launch on the technical specs, looks extremely good. But how it is in practice, can't find YouTube videos, can't find long success stories, can't find customers talking about it. So hard to comment from my perspective. Jan is writing, come to Denmark to see a W6 strong competitor to Revolution. Yes. Do you know the price point for the W6? I would love to hear that. If that puts, I know it comes with a sonar, so it has to be significantly higher than the rest out there. But good feedback. I'd love to try. And if you have the chance to try, okay, close to the Revolution price, and that would put it in the 50, 60 thousand US dollars. So way off from the portable side. But if you have the chance to try the competition, I highly recommend to do it because it does help in sales when you can compare. When I see competitors in trade shows, I go there with my unit and I ask to try their units. I've done a few head-to-head comparisons with customers. If that's a possibility for the customer to have a unit from another vendor and put ours next side to side. Sometimes if I know that they work with a manufacturer, I just ask if I can come and show our unit and compare, for me to get knowledge and for them to see that what the next purchase would be. And if one is a company who can represent several units, that can be an advantage of itself. My approach is that, like I said, I have a partner who works closely with Deep Tracker, and I have another partner who works with the Blueye as well. I'm completely fine. We've built our unit from our core advantages, and we have a clear strategy going forward that includes some hardware improvements, but a lot of software improvements. So in the end of the day, I really believe that the market chooses what is the best company, what is the best product, what is the best overall offering. And if there are partners, distributors that can like openly showcase different models, I think that's a good thing for the end customer, and that's the kind of approach that I really want to put in the market. So I try to be politically correct when out there, but also recognizing that there are a lot of competition coming up. It is not easy to be in the market, and it's not enough to just be in the corner and saying that we're the best. You have to put words on why you are the best. You can't say that it's easy to use. All of them are easy to use, at least from their marketing approach. You have to explain why it's easy to use. What's the difference of a laptop and and a mobile phone. What does reporting mean? What does can you deploy it in 1 minute? Can you change the battery without doing pressure test and so on and so on? And that's a webinar that I'll have open publicly on 17th of December, talking about what does easy to use actually mean, because I want to challenge all the underwater drone and mini ROV salespeople out there to stop being fluffy with the word easy to use. Really explain what does that mean, and I want to be in the forefront of explaining what does that mean for Blueye. But I want our partners to be strong on that sector as well. And as our final reminder, tomorrow, another webinar, why reporting matters. I'll be discussing the reporting function and what does that mean for service providers and companies out there. I see I spent a bit time on it, time on this webinar. So the recording probably will be stopped over here. So thank you everyone watching this on demand. And for all of you still live, is there anything that I can elaborate more on for you? Do you have questions, feedback? Do you have ideas for upcoming webinars? Are there any other topics that we should touch if you have issues regarding logging into the Blueye partner portal? Jan, I know that you had an issue. If it's not fixed, I hope we fix it soon. But this is a good chance to still have 10 minutes or so of my time, and I'll be happy to support in any case. So open for feedback and questions. And if not, then we will move ahead to business as usual. I know things are tightening up all around the world in terms of COVID regulations. We don't really see that much here in Trondheim. For us, everything is going quite well. R&D is going strong. We're doing a lot of testing for the next models and testing with the accessories. And commercially, it's really small, steady growth, but it is growth. And when I see growth, I celebrate. So we're not on a normal market situation level. So where we were, for example, in January, February, we're not there, but we're seeing it more and more, market opening up for us, especially in the domestic Norwegian market. But I hope it gets better everywhere else. So to being able to physically show the unit will be extremely important, but let's hope for the best. All right, I'll finish up if there's no question. Thank you, Jan, for the feedback. Hope to see you guys soon as well, and we'll put this recording to the portal to be watched later on if you want to get back to any points. All right, that's it, folks. Take care. Have a nice day, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you guys. And do not hesitate to contact myself or Torgrim if you need any help. We are here for you as always. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.